Hello guys, so welcome back to my channel. If you like this dress you're seeing on my video today, I have a tutorial on how to make this dress, and it's not going to be, we're not going to be using a pattern. It's a freehand style. Okay, so because it's a chiffon, I'm going to be making use of a brown paper, but whatever you see on the brown paper, please just transfer it straight to your fabric. There is no pattern, it is a straight work. So this is a kind of a chart that I have, and if you're following this chart, this is just for a simple palazzo, not the elaborate one, not the very large one. So if you want a very large one, you're just going to make sure you add like extra 1 inch to your tie. Okay, so this is the chart to be using, and this is what it looks like. So as when you get to the elastic, for the elastic parts, I would advise you measure your client, because sometimes some people's waist is kind of different from what you have on the screen on my paper. So it's advisable you check the measurements. Okay, but if you feel you can use it, fine. So I'm using size 40, and that is what we'll be doing today. Okay guys, so first of all, we're going to be taking away the 2 inches, okay, for the band. So I'm taking it, placing tape measure on 2 inches. Okay, so my crotch, just like I have on my chart, I'm using 12. Okay, I'm marking 12. So this kind of palazzo, we don't need the hips. We don't need the hips measurement, so we just be going straight to the length of the trousers. And length of the trousers I'm using is 45. Then I have like 2.5 inch extra for my turn up for the hemming. If you want it to be beautiful, I would advise you use up to 2.5. Okay, some people use as much as 3. So the next one we're going to be doing, you're going to be going in by 1.5 inch around the waist area. Like I said, this is a freehand. Whatever you see here, transfer it on your pattern immediately. Okay, so here at the crotch part, I'm just going to be going in by half, and at the hem I'll be coming in by 1. Okay, so guys, if you are measuring this on your fabric, just follow the same thing. It's just because I'm working with the chiffon and I don't want it to be moving around. That is the reason why I'm using a brown paper, but I'll be transferring it straight to my chiffon. So what we're doing is just to mark, join the whole lines I've just marked together. Then we'll come to the crotch. So at the crotch area, I'll be placing my hip measurements on the crotch area. So I'll be coming in by 10.5. My hip measurement is actually 10.5. So I'm going to be placing, I'm sorry, 10 guys. So I'll be placing 10 starting from the half inch. Okay, so I've rolled it. Then I'm going to be adding 1 inch for the ease allowance, or the seam allowance. Okay, so I'm going to be taking it straight to the waist. Like I said, it's for band. There's going to be an elastic band, so I'm taking it straight up. So at that same crotch area, I'm not going to put in my tie, and watch, I'm putting it on 14, just like the way I have there. Okay, so I'm going to be marking. So just that is how I'm going to be getting my crotch extension. Okay, I'm placing my tie there. The excess you have becomes your crotch extension. Then you just make your crotch curve. Okay, so like I said, I added my tie measurement, just like the measurement what we have on the chart. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take whatever I have there, the total of it, I'm going to be taking away 3 from it. Okay, and that is what that will become my hem measurement. So I'll be bringing it down to my hem and down to the same allowance. Then I'll be rolling it. Okay, note that I'm taking my measurement from the new lines I have, not from the starting point. Then I'm going to be bringing it down to my I'm just going to be joining with a little slant, so it's easy for me when I'm turning it over. Okay, when I'm sewing the hem, so I'm just going to make a straight line. Now I'm going to be rolling it straight, connecting it to somewhere in the middle there. Then from there, I'm just going to use my French curve to my hip curve to make a little curve. Now, not too curve, is a palazzo. Okay, now that is also it for the front. Very simple, right? Then I'm going to do the cutout. Now we're going to start working on the back. Okay, so what we're going to, this is what the front looks like. So what we're going to do now, we're going to be placing it on the back. After making your straight line, I just place it on the back so that I can get the lines where the crotch line and every line is. Okay, if you're doing this on your straight fabric, please just place your fabric also on the new fabric and just take where your lines are. Okay, so Now, after noting all my lines, I'm going to do the same thing like I did from the beginning of the front. I'm just going to come in also by my one, take my 1 inch, like take my half inch around the crotch area, take my 1.5 for the waist. Now take my 1 inch for the hem. Okay, so what I'm going to, after joining the lines, I'm now going to carefully place my front on it. Make sure that your front is meeting where those lines are, just like the way we have the D for the front. Make sure it's meeting it, and you pin it down. If you're using your fabric, pin it down. So I'm just going to gun mine down. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trace out that line. If you're doing it on the fabric, you just use your chalk to trace out the line. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is to start with the back. Now for the back, for that side, we're going to come up by 1 inch. Now because it's a palazzo, I already started from a high waist. That's why I came up by 1 inch. Okay, if you're dealing with somebody on a very big bust size, you can do 1.5 because it's already a high waist. You don't need to go as much as 2. Then I just connect it to the waistline. I'm trying to confirm if my waistline on a slant is going to be the same thing, just like the way we do for trousers. So I'll just connect it. Okay, it's the same. I'll just connect it to form the back waist. Now the next thing we're going to do is to come out from the waistline. We're going to come out by about 2.5 inches. Okay, I'm going to come out by for 2.5 inches. Now this 2.5 inches, I'm connecting it to the crotch line. I'll be connecting it to the crotch line. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is at that same crotch line, we're not going to come out by 2 inches. These things are just for the back to sit properly, just like the way we do for trousers. Okay, very simple. Just come out by 2 inches, roll it, and you get your crotch curve for the back. So the next thing we're going to be doing, also for the hem here, we're going to come out by 1 inch. For the hem, we're not going to come out by 1 inch for the hem. Okay, so we're going to connect all the lines together. Then you do the same thing, you connect the line to somewhere in the middle, then use your hip curve to finish up. We don't need it to be too inwards. Okay, it's a palazzo, you don't need to be too inwards. So I think that is it. That is just it. So you cut and you start sewing. So if you're good at sewing your trousers, I think from here you can do it on your own. But if you still need to, you don't know how to sew your trousers, okay, follow me and let me explain to you how you're going to make the sewing. Okay guys, so I'm just going to cut it out on the fabric. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm going to notch. I'm trying to notch, but this notch will always guide you. So always make sure you have a notch somewhere, so that by the time you're sewing, all you need to do is locate your notch and you're good to go. Okay, so you notch the front and the back. Make sure the notch lines are equal. Okay guys, so this is the front. I've cut my front and I'm doing my notch, okay, on the fabric. So if you have done yours on your fabric, congratulations, and you can start sewing all the way. So I just did mine on the paper because, you know, chiffon fabric, they're not easy to cut, and any little mistake, that is the end of it. Okay, so I've done the same thing for the back. I've done my notch, and that is it. Remember to put your half inch when sewing, when cutting, at the waistline, because we did not put the half inch there. So this is my pocket. I've cut 2 pockets on the fold. I've cut 7 inches by 11 inches. Okay, so I'm just going to be joining crotch, my front crotch and my back crotch by half of an inch. Now I'm going to be joining the front and the back crotch together. So what I need to do is to pin the crotch point where the crotch sewing is, that's the where the stitch is. Just pin it together, Then the next thing you will do is to locate your notch, which is very important. Now make sure your notches are meeting each other. If they're not meeting each other, there's a problem. So make sure they are meeting each other. So when you get there, you just pin that also. And my dear, you just run your sewing with 1/2 inch all through. But while sewing this, be careful. Just take your time and sew. Okay, if you're a beginner, take your time and sew. Okay. So guys, yeah, this is it. So the next thing we're going to be doing, we're going to be placing the pockets by the side. So I'll just go ahead and pin one side of my pocket to the front and to the back. All you need to do is make sure that you're pinning it front facing front. Okay, so I just pinned to the front and I pinned to the back. This pocket is an easy one. It's just on a fold, so you don't need too much ceremony. So what I'm going to do is go to my machine. I'm going to be sewing from the beginning to about maybe 7 inches. If you want it a bit deeper, the where the arm will fit in, you can do 7.5. Okay, because we're still going to take 1/2 inch up there. So just sew it by the 1 inch, because I'm sewing the side by 1 inch. Okay, so I'll just sew it by 1 inch. So when I sew, I stop about halfway, or maybe 7.5 like I mentioned earlier. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to be doing right now is to pin it properly and continue my sewing for the trousers. Okay, those are the areas where I have sewn it up to. So what I'll just do is to pin it properly. Pin the starting point. Make sure your seams are touching each other. It will help you to make your trousers, your pocket come out very neat. Okay, then go to where the where your stitches stops at your pocket, pin it also. Okay, then you just continue your 1 inch sewing, but this time around you're only sewing the trousers, you're no more sewing the pockets. Okay, so after sewing it, guys, this is what I have. Now I have to go back inside. Okay, you see that part that is left, that part that I did not sew. Now I'm going to sew it, but this time around make sure you are also meeting to where the other stitch stops. Just sew it and sew it to the other side. Then you do a notch, because there definitely, if you do not notch, it will not relax. So just make sure you knot slightly. Okay, so this is it. This is my pocket, and it came out so beautiful. Hope yours is going to come out this way too. Now I'm going to take the measurements of, guys, this is the band, and it's 2.5 inches, 1/2 inch for seam allowance, 2 inch for sewing allowance, 2 inches for the band. So I've just used the hairstay, and after that I run my rubber, my elastic. So guys, this is it. If you love this top, and there's a video on the top, please check out the video. It is going to be a slash and spread, and it's going to be easy. So this is it, guys. So bye, thank you for watching. Stay blessed. Bye.
Stone cold eyes, I turn to ashes, but only just sometimes. Inhale